Rifleman. Starring Chuck Connors.
They'll be coming by any time now.
You want to take it easy with this here, boy.
Here they come, Brother Joe.
Well, yeah, if you ghosts would like to step down and rest a spell, the missus has got a fresh batch of donuts in the house. I know you must get awful hungry on Halloween night.
Oh, these masks don't spook anybody but the cattle.
Come on, Mark. Let's not stop now. Mr. Moran's got a stock over in the south pasture. Let's go over there and have some fun.
All right. Thanks anyhow, Mr. Russell, but we got a lot of stops to make tonight.
All right, Mark.
Well, was it just the way I said it would be?
Yep. Sylvester, boy, I'd say prime beef would run about, well, $45 to $50 a head down below the border.
That or more, Brother Joe.
Look here. There's no law that says Halloween can't last more than one night, is it?
Never heard of one, Brother Joe. Never heard of one.
All right, Mark. Were you in on it?
Guess I was. I'd better be getting to school.
20 minutes early? Now, if you'll just turn around and face me. You took an active part?
Yes, sir. I guess I did.
Will you stop guessing and answer me yes or no like a man?
Yes, sir. I was there.
Well, Halloween or not, you should know better. You've been brought up in a ranch. You've probably run 100 pounds of beef off some people's herds, not to mention the fact that you cost them a full workday rounding up strays. Hold me responsible, Micah. It won't happen again.
Fair enough. And you know, Mark, those ranchers would have been in their rights if they used their guns to protect their cattle.
I'm sorry, Paul. By the way, Paul, you mind if I go out tonight after supper?
What's the occasion this time?
Well, some of us kids are taking up geometry, and we'd just sort of like to work together on it. Of course, I'd like to stay home if you could help me with it.
Geometry's one thing I never learned, Mark.
Another thing, Paul. With me having to be out at night so much from now on, maybe I'd be smarter to carry my rifle. Of course, a handgun would be better.
Handgun? You?
Lucas, meet one of our new settlers, Mr. Bullock. I asked him to stop by.
Hello, Mr. Bullock. Lucas McCain.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. McCain?
Mr. Bullock is from England. He just bought the DeCoven place.
Well, the Coven has a nice spread. Good barns, plenty of water. You should be able to run a lot of cattle there.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm just a city man. No intention at all of competing with established ranchers.
What is your line of work, Mr. Bullock?
Well, in London, in addition to my teaching, I run a bookstore. However, out here, I'll have to rely upon a green thumb, put in strawberries and asparagus, and perhaps eventually a dairy herd. It'll be rough going, but as the Greek Euclid said, there is no royal road.
Euclid? Isn't he the one who invented geometry?
Well, you might say that, yes.
This is my son, Mark.
Oh, how do you do, Mark? Allow me to present my son, Percy.
How do you do?
Hello, Percy.
You said his name is Percy?
That's right. And today is going to be his first experience in an American school.
Well, it's been a pleasure meeting both of you. Let me know if we can be of any help.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Mr. McCain. Very nice meeting you. I'm afraid we must be getting along now. Well, good day, gentlemen.
Bye.
Percy. And those pants. Now, he'll be lynched by recess.
Mark, it's all right tonight about the geometry, but you leave your rifle at home.
All right. What about the handgun? All right, Paul. All right.
comes Percy now.
Hello, my name's Percy.
Percy, what a name. Percy. Hey, Percy, Percy.
My name is not funny. The Percy family defended northern England against the Scots for 6 centuries. Their battle cry was, "A Percy, a Percy."
A Percy, a Percy.
I shall thrash you for that, you fat bully.
Well, happy 4th of July.
Don't pick on him, Melvin.
What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I'll show you.
I'm no ungrateful, of course, but you can't take over a chap's fight. It's not done.
Now, listen, Melvin. You start to kick or gouge, and so help me, I'll get you with a rock.
Oh, I say. Your leg! Him, step on his toe. Come on, McCain. That's right, pop it in his face. Straight blows. Come on, McCain, hit the blinder with a straight right. Step on his toe. That's the ticket, McCain. Science.
Will you please stop calling me McCain? My name's Mark.
That is friendly of you. First names. On such short acquaintance, I mean to say.
Hello, Mark. Percy? What happened to you?
Well, I got throwed.
And each other, presumably.
No, Father, Mark is such a game chicken.
Chicken?
Translated, that's gamecock, a real fighting bird.
Oh.
You see, Mark, it's not political theories that divide nations. Sometimes it's a matter of grammar. Confounded asthma. A spot of brandy seems to be indicated. Hello, it's the last of it. Yeah. Well, an excellent remedy for most ailments. In moderation, of course.
Boy. I bet this is the most books in one place anywhere on the earth.
Only 600 volumes, Mark. All I could bring with me. But in my little shop, one of many hundreds in the city, I never stocked less than 2,000 titles.
I guess we're pretty ignorant around here, Mr. Bullock.
Your father struck me as being very far from ignorant.
Well, he doesn't know geometry, but he sure knows his Bible.
A supreme book, translated in the greatest period of English literature. In a sense, all the rest of the books are merely footnotes.
Have you read all of these, Mr. Bullock?
Oh, most of them a number of times. The whole panorama of men in miniature, from Winwood Reade back to Herodotus. Would you like to borrow some of them, Mark?
Could I?
Help yourself.
I wouldn't know where to start.
If I may, I'd like to suggest this. It's one of my favorites.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Father, would you read some of it to us?
Oh, I'm sure that Mark doesn't want to listen to me read.
Oh, please, Mr. Bullock.
Well, if you want me to.
He really loves to read aloud.
It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief, it was the epoch of incredulity. It was the spring of light, it was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope, it was the winter of despair. We had everything before us, we had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, and we were all going direct to the other way.
Night, Pa.
Where you going? Mr. Bullock's again?
Yep. Well, I finished all my chores. I didn't think you'd mind if I went over for a little while.
Well, this'll be 3 nights in a row. Just what is it you do over there that makes you so anxious to leave your own home?
Well, Mr. Bullock asked me to teach Perce how to be a good rider. So part of the evening, we spent a little time on the range.
Then what?
We come back and gab a little. Mr. Bullock has been asking me a lot about cattle buying and selling. We have something to eat, and then I come home.
Seems to me you'd be better off staying home and working on your math.
Oh, I was going to take it with me. You know, Mr. Bullock knows more about geometry than anyone I've ever met. Of course, you should hear some of the fool questions he's asked me about handling and feeding cattle. There sure is an awful lot that you know that he doesn't.
All right. Be home at 9:30.
Thanks very much, Mr. Faulkner. You're very generous. I'm much obliged to you. As a fellow countryman of mine once said, ready money is Aladdin's lamp. We can put this to good use.
Yeah, well, we better get going now. Brother Joe and I have got some other business to take care of.
Oh, yes, let me not keep you.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice doing business with you.
Goodbye.
You're very generous, Mr. Faulkner, and I'm quite obliged to you.
Sylvester, a few more nights and you can head for the border. Arrange things with those cattle buying friends of ours. Come on.
Fool kids. Celebrating Halloween 3 nights in a row now. Worst part of it is, along with those flour sacks and pumpkins they've been using, we found some empty liquor bottles.
Empty liquor bottles? They were drinking?
I guess some kids just can't wait to grow up. Besides, every parent doesn't keep tabs on a young one the way you do. Of course, Mark was home with you last night.
What's that supposed to mean?
I'm just crossing off the names I won't have to check.
You trying to tell me that Mark was out Halloween even after I warned him?
I'm only telling you that some of the boys are. And after all, Mark did do it once. And he's at an age when boys sometimes find it hard to tell the difference between a simple prank and downright mischief.
Well, get this straight, Micah. I trust my boy. Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself.
You still up?
Shut the door and come in.
Something wrong?
I don't know, Mark. The whiskey bottle's gone.
I know that.
Did you take it?
Sure I took it, but it's been there for 2 years. I didn't think you'd care.
You didn't think I'd care. What did you do with it?
I gave it to Miss... Well, I didn't drink it. You don't believe me?
Right now, I don't know what to believe, Mark. But for the present, you'll stay home nights. Understand?
Yes, Paul.
Go to bed.
Gotcha. Now, I don't aim to hurt you, boy. Just pull this flour sack off so I can identify you. Joe! Joe! He won't be identifying anybody. Now, look here, boy. Don't you ever call my name all over creation like that again. Hurry, Joe. Come on.
A real nice situation. An old friend dead, a lot of cattle missing, and we have to meet here during school hours so as not to warn the kids. But aside from the kids, I think there's a man or men mixed up in this business someplace. Now, I think we're all agreed that wherever they've got the cattle hidden, they'll be wanting to pull out pronto. They sure don't want to show up in the territory driving a herd of mixed brands. I figure they've got connections below the border. They'll be no doubt heading that way any night now. Now, you all know your areas. Patrolling by twos, we'll be able to cover a strip a couple of miles wide. If there's any shooting, the next pair will pass the word along. Any questions?
About the kids. Don't you think we should keep them indoors?
Wouldn't that be locking the barn after the horse is gone?
But it's like setting a trap.
Oh, no hide off the innocent, the guilty got it coming. Don't you agree, Lucas?
Some more milk?
Oh, please.
You said you gave the liquor to someone, Mark. It was Mr. Bullock, wasn't it?
Yep.
I thought so.
Paul, he only swallows a little nip once in a while to stop his cough.
You told me that Mr. Bullock was asking you about stock values. Mark, how much do you know about the cattle rustling that's been going on?
Only what I've heard. Paul, you don't think that Mr. Bullock had anything to do with this? Why, he'd have no more to do with it than you would.
When you've finished the dishes, Mark, you can go out if you want to.
You mean I don't have to stay home?
Not if you don't want to. I've got some business to take care of in town. Mark?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say you have to go out.
I know, but I want to.
Look at him. He can hardly wait to get there.
I don't know why I let you talk me into coming out here. Bullock doesn't own any cattle, and that stolen bunch will stand out in this spread like a hog in a hen roost.
They could be in the barn.
We could hear them.
Not if they were well fed and watered. Come on.
Now, this passage must be read with a great deal of quiet feeling. Be not offended. I speak not as an absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds. Mr. McCain! Alson Torrance!
Wait outside for me, Mark. I'd start explaining, Bullock.
Since when in this jurisdiction did the reading of Shakespeare constitute a misdemeanor?
Reading Shakespeare isn't, but cattle rustling is a capital offense.
Cattle rustling?
We're talking about the cattle in your barn that don't belong to you.
When a man rents my barn at a fair price, I don't pry into his affairs.
Micah, we're wasting time.
Now, hold on, Lucas. There's an outside chance the man isn't a liar.
A man who makes thieves out of boys could easily be a liar.
Do you seriously consider that lad to be capable of studied deception?
Of course not, but I think you're clever enough with words to confuse him, to make him do things he doesn't even understand.
Mr. McCain, does it occur to you that this is no more than a father's normal jealousy?
Jealousy?
Yes, jealousy. Jealousy of another man offering his son something which is beyond his paternal capacity to give. Oh, hang it, man. Do you think that I haven't had qualms? Seeing Percy in a ruddy great hat and painstakingly mutilating the English language to try and emulate you?
Emulate me?
You see, Mr. McCain, we each have our own advantage. I with words, and you with that rifle.
Pa, those gentlemen you rented our barn to, they're taking their cattle out.
Rented the barn?
Come on, Lucas, boy.
Well, Mr. Bullock, you stay here, like you just said. This is my advantage.
I can just hear Bullock when he finds out. Surely, Marshal, you don't think that I'm involved with these renegades?
I'll get the rest of them out.
All right, hold it.
I'm gonna make a break for the barn. Are you all right?
It's nothing, Mr. McCain. Just a slight cut.
That was a brave thing you did.
Muy hombre.
Muy hombre. What does that mean?
It's Spanish. He says your pa is a lot of man.
Rather. His name's Percy, too.
I'm glad I had you figured wrong, Mr. Bullock.
Perfectly understandable. Any parent would be frightened.
You can say anything you want about my pa, Mr. Bullock, but he doesn't frighten.
He sure don't.
Doesn't. Well, shall we say in this case that your father was frightened about you?
He's right. Mr. Bullock and I know from personal experience some of the snares and pitfalls that lie in wait for our sons. Maybe we've fallen into a few of them ourselves and remember what it costs to crawl out again.
And the deeper their affection, the bigger their fears for you boys.
As a writer once put it, some of the best lessons we ever learn, we learn from our mistakes and failures.
And the era of the past is the wisdom and success of the future.
Lucas, boy, you never cease to amaze me.
Rifleman.